HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing.
The following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
Tonight on World Championship Boxing, two of the best light heavyweights in the world collide. Hard right hand by Pascal, right on the chin. That's what makes Sergey Kovalev special. Thunderous, straight-on power. The rise of Sergey Kovalev has been nothing short of meteoric, from obscurity to unified title holder in just 2 years.
He can change a fight with any shot.
It is over, and Sergey Kovalev made it look easy. In November, a matchup with living legend Bernard Hopkins further demonstrated the undefeated Russian's prominence. Down goes Hopkins on the first solid right hand that Kovalev threw. He has extraordinary power. For Jean Pascal, the division's former champion, a matchup with Kovalev represents not just an opportunity, but another test against the elite.
I know if I train to be the best, I can beat anyone on this planet.
Pascal will be fighting in front of what's sure to be a partisan crowd in Montreal. The champion Kovalev, not afraid to travel to defend his titles.
Believe me, I will do everything in his hometown to get my next great victory. He will be nobody after me.
It should be an electric atmosphere on World Championship Boxing. Sergey Kovalev versus Jean Pascal is next. World Championship Boxing is back, coming to you from Montreal, Canada. Tonight, the Bell Center is buzzing with anticipation for the light heavyweight showdown between local hero Jean Pascal and the kingpin of the division, Sergey Kovalev. Tension has been building between the two fighters all week long.
Saturday night will be fighting two best boxers of light heavyweight division.
I'm not a sheep, I'm a wolf, and I'm gonna see you in the ring Saturday night.
Pascal, 175 pounds, Sergey Kovalev.
No love lost at the news conference, no love lost at the weigh-in. As you saw Kovalev flipping the finger at Pascal, it remains to be seen whether the Russian star is the kind of fighter under whose skin you want to get. And Pascal arrived here at the Bell Center first about an hour ago, flanked by his longtime trainer, Mark Ramsey, and assistant trainer is Pascal's longtime boxing idol, Roy Jones. Shortly after Pascal's arrival, Sergey Kovalev, with his manager Igis Klimas right behind him, made a quiet entrance to the Bell Center, fighting an away game, as it were, but eager to prove himself in front of what he expects to be a rabid pro-Pascal crowd. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. We welcome you to the Bell Center in Montreal, one of North America's truly great fight towns, for this outstanding HBO Sports tripleheader. Later on tonight, the main event at the pinnacle of the light heavyweight division between three-belt champion Sergey Kovalev and the former linear champion of the division, Jean Pascal. Before that fight, you'll see a heavyweight showdown between Vyacheslav Glaskov of Ukraine and Steve Cunningham of the United States. Both have poignant personal stories attached to their journeys into this fight. The winner gets into the line of succession to fight overall heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko. And before that fight, we go to the light heavyweight division for the two fighters who are already in the ring. Isaac Chilemba of South Africa thought for a while that he was going to be fighting Montreal-based former Russian amateur star Artur Beterbiev. Beterbiev backed out of the fight or at least his management did, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And now Chilemba goes into the fight against another Russian, Vasily Lepikhin, less known than Beterbiev, but more experienced and a different kind of challenge, as you'll see from the tail of the tape. Let's take a look. Chilemba is the younger of the two fighters by 3 years. Lepikhin lost 3 years of his career due to a torn Achilles tendon. But see the height difference. Chilemba at 6'2" would have been a couple of inches taller than Beterbiev. Instead, he's an inch and a half shorter than Lepikhin, who's exceptionally tall for the division. Arm length advantage of a half inch nevertheless goes to the South African fighter. They both weighed in at 175 pounds. Tonight, Chilemba has rehydrated up to 185, and Lepikhin is 182. Title shot eliminator in the light heavyweight division. The winner gets into the line of succession to potentially fight Kovalev if Kovalev can get past Pascal tonight. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir et bienvenue au Centre Bell, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Bell Center here in the beautiful city of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, where tonight it's world-class boxing for your entertainment, and it's presented by Videotron in association with Mise à Jour, promoters, main events, and Interbox. Sponsorship contributed by Coors Light, Kaja Sport, and Hortizia Vodka. All the bouts are sanctioned by the Quebec Government Combat Sports Bureau. The three judges at ringside for this contest will be Nicolas Anznon, Jean Gauthier, and Jack Woodburn. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Michael Griffin. And now 10 rounds of boxing. This is for the vacant North American Boxing Federation Light Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, official weight 174, 3/4 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one, consisting of 17 fights, 17 victories, including 9 wins by knockout. From Chelyabinsk, Russia, the undefeated Vasily, the Professor Lepikhin. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing black and gold and weighs in officially at 175 pounds. An outstanding professional record, 23 victories, including 10 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats with 2 draws. From Blantyre, Malawi, here's Isaac Golden Boy Chilemba.
Isaac, buddy. You men both received my instructions. Obey my commands, protect yourselves always, men. I want you to touch gloves now, you're boxing at the bell. God bless you both.
So our first fight tonight goes from a tough challenge slash showcase kind of fight for Beterbiev to a kind of more of a toss-up fight between two light heavyweights looking to get to the next level.
Lepikhin is trained by his father and has been for his entire amateur and professional career. Chilemba is trained by the American veteran Buddy McGirt. Now the bell sounds and round 1 begins. Canadian referee Michael Griffin is a good one. We've seen some excellent refereeing from him in the past. And immediately, Lepikhin offers some evidence that he might choose to be the attacker in the fight. He's a guy who can either back up and counter or go forward and attack. And he was the one who unloaded the early combination on Chilemba. Now Chilemba begins to try to fire his jab from the outside. Bernard Hopkins is sitting with us at ringside tonight, along with, of course, Max Kellerman. It's our privilege to have Bernard as our guest expert commentator tonight, most particularly because once we get to the main event, Pascal against Kovalev, Bernard has not only fought both of the fighters in the ring, he's fought the guys who are in their corners as well. But as we watch Chilemba with only 10 knockouts among his 23 wins, Bernard, he's more of a boxer than a puncher. What must he do against the longer-armed Lepikhin to control the fight?
Well, first he must keep a respectful distance, but also be there to counter and also to get his punches off. Like, you know, as he continues to throw the jab, he must counter in between those punches. And one of it is the jab. The jab sets up everything, and then you work off that.
See, Lepikhin will give him chances, even though he's a tall, long-armed fighter. He's there to be hit because he himself is taking chances.
Good quick left hook by Lepikhin. Counterintuitively, you look at Lepikhin's body and you think, well, he wants to fight from the outside. But Bernard, you looked at the tape and actually have seen some quality inside fighting from him.
Yes, I did. I mean, he has a good six-hit punch inside. I've seen him fight inside on tape a couple times, and he got a good left hook, a good uppercut, and he's going to use that right now, and he's going to use that as he gets close.
Body shot and a sturdy left hook by Lepikhin. Now Chilemba fires body shots of his own. Activity could be the key to this for Chilemba. He's been known to outwork opponents effectively in the past. Good stamina down the stretch of what could become a long fight.
The jabbing reach seems to favor Chilemba so far, actually. He seems to get more extension with that jab.
Well, you know, it's a little bit confusing, and I made a mistake earlier by referring to Lepikhin as the long-armed fighter, when in fact the tail of the tape showed us that Chilemba has a half-inch reach advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, the way we do it here at HBO. So don't allow me to confuse you into thinking that Chilemba doesn't have long arms. He does.
Well, he do have long arms, but if he don't use the distance and use that height to his advantage, then, you know, it works against him.
So here we are, and just a visual establishment that Bernard Hopkins is working with us tonight. Say hello to the crowd out there, yes. Bernard, and Max Kellerman just to our right. And the reason, of course, that Bernard is here is because our normal expert commentator, your old friend Roy Jones, is working as an assistant trainer to Jean Pascal. Pascal idolizes Roy. Roy has worked throughout his training camps. Not the first time he's done so. Is that a psychological advantage tonight for Pascal, Bernard?
Oh, absolutely. It's a psychological advantage for him because, A, he admires Roy Jones. He also understands that he has to fight sort of like Roy Jones. Early Roy Jones' career, he was fast, he was here, unorthodox, he threw punches from all angles. Pascal's going to need all that and some to be successful.
That'll be in the main event, 2 fights away. Right now, we're headed toward round 2 of Isaac Chilemba against Vasily Lepikhin. And in the first round, Chilemba was seen by CompuBox to land 17 of 84 punches. 68 of them were jabs. Lepikhin 8 of 31. So Chilemba throwing more than twice as many punches as Lepikhin in the first round, although Lepikhin, with a couple of solid left hooks, seemed to land the sturdier blows. You heard Michael Buffer introduce Chilemba as being from Malawi. He was born and lived until age 17 in Malawi. It's one of the poorest countries, if not the poorest in the world. Migrated from there to South Africa, where he began his professional boxing career. So as a fighter, he's more a South African than a Malawian. And among his 9 brothers and sisters, there are others who have migrated to South Africa as well. Body shots for Chilemba. Just as was the case in the first round, throwing more punches, getting in more work than Lepikhin, who's selecting a little bit more carefully and looking to land something big.
And Chilemba is using that jab. He's also getting more comfortable. Just got hit with a left hook there, but he's using that jab. He's getting more comfortable, and he got the distance to be able to get it off.
Early in the first round, it looked like Lepikhin would be the one getting off first. But even as he's coming forward, it's Chilemba who's getting off first, especially with the jab, and he's able to dictate what's going on in there with that jab.
And both fighters are trying to establish, the dominance, to try to set the pace. And that's the good thing about this early rounds in these fights, that they both know it's at stake. I mean, light heavyweight is a spot open, number 1, number 2 contender spot. And so they're fighting for that, and they understand how important this fight is.
Lepikhin went forward to try to attack Chilemba against the ropes. Chilemba caught him with a perfect counter right hand. Not a big shot, but enough to back Lepikhin off at the moment. Now Lepikhin trying to be the aggressor again.
Break!
Since a nearly 3-year layoff. Hard right hand by Chilemba. Since a nearly 3-year layoff, Lepikhin, who lost all that time due to the torn Achilles tendon, has won 4 fights in a row with 3 knockouts. 2 of those were first-round knockouts. Max?
I just love the way Chilemba has been setting Lepikhin up for that right hand. He threw one earlier in the round, not to the same effectiveness as the one we saw moments ago. But he's starting with the jab. He's off first. He's getting off first, and he's countering well with the right hand now.
Break! Get up! Get up! Step back.
2 right-hand counter punches in the round. The most effective shots thrown by Chilemba. April 18, we could see a Fight of the Year candidate when Lucas Matthysse and Ruslan Provodnikov meet. Also that night, Terence Crawford moves up to 140 for the first time, taking on Tomas Dulorme. 1 week later, live from Madison Square Garden, it's longtime heavyweight champ Vladimir Klitschko against Bryant Jennings in Klitschko's first title defense on American soil in 7 years. Before the main event, Brooklyn's Saddam Ali faces Francisco Santana.
Хочешь ударить? Я сказал, расслабленно и весело, расслабься.
Chilemba throws that right hand uppercut, catches him coming in. Then he throws the lead right hand.
And that lead right hand shot, showiest punch in the round. Chilemba, by CompuBox count through round 2, has thrown 120 jabs, landing 17 of them. Lepikhin's thrown only 27 jabs, landing 6. So if it were a jabbing contest, Chilemba's already won it. Lepikhin has been looking more frequently to try to get in the left hook. And that's one of the reasons that Chilemba has been going with the right-hand counter that's working well for him. Solid jab by Lepikhin there.
Lepikhin has good reach, but he don't use it as much as he should, and that's the thing. Once he uses it, he gets the range, he will see more damage, and he'll gain more respect, but he's not using it the way he should be using it.
Given that Chilemba is popping him right on the chin with the jab, why would Lepikhin be dropping his hands below the waist the way he is?
Well, I believe he's trying to bait him in. He's trying to let him know that he can't hit him, and you know, he takes that chance. He just got hit with a jab there, but I think he's trying to lure his opponent in to counter with the left hook, as he just missed, or right hand. But he's trying to bait him in.
Lepikhin will do this sometimes too as a fight wears on, drop his hands, not exactly showboat, but do as Bernard said, look, I'm here to be hit, to try to create some offensive opportunities for himself.
Let him go. Step back. Step back. Let him go. No punches.
Lepikhin obviously feels very comfortable in there, but Chilemba's been taking advantage of that from time to time.
But Chilemba's more or less frenetic activity level of the first couple of rounds is beginning to drop off, and he's being more careful now about releasing his hands, so perhaps Lepikhin has landed something along the way that sent a message. Body shot for Chilemba, but one at a time.
Chilemba is more effective when he's active, when he throw multiple punches, and he gets in that crouch position. He puts the shoulder up, chin down, and he goes in and he tries to get off combinations, which is working in some spots.
But it makes it interesting how the activity level has suddenly dropped off here in round 3. Chilemba, who was pumping the jab frequently earlier, no longer doing so at this point. Gets in a body shot, though. as Lepikhin was slightly out of position. Now Chilemba goes back to pumping the jab. Lepikhin still looking to try to land one big shot.
Hey, let him go. Step back, step back, step back.
Мало. Вторую часть раунда надо работать. Подышался, нет?
Relax, relax. Breathe. You're too tight out there.
И вот эти накидывай.
Don't hold up on your right hand.
Комбинации.
Use your jab and combinations. Don't stay in there for too long, man.
Okay. Hey, listen. You can rest it tomorrow. But right now, we got to work. You got a championship fight on the line here. Okay? Let's go. Hey, stay in control. Don't reach with the jab. Stay low when you jab. You're picking up. Don't pick up. That's why you're missing. Stay low. Jab him to the chest and jab the head. Okay? Very good, baby. Nice deep breath. Let's go, baby. Every chance you get.
CompuBox numbers in round 3. Chilemba, who had been throwing upward of 80 punches per round, fell off to only 44. Landed 18 in the round. Still, that's far ahead of what Lepikhin did, landing 5 out of 28. Simply not active enough to stay in these rounds, or so it would appear. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, I got it 30-27, 3 rounds to nothing. Isaac Chilemba. You know, Jim, every time he throws that left jab, Vasily Lepikhin covers up. I mean, he goes into that shell so often. I don't know what it is, but Chilemba jabs, he goes into the shell. He's just not active. I mean, Chilemba's doing all the fighting in his fight so far, as I see it. I mean, Isaac just jabbing. Nice right hands. 3-0, Chilemba.
Bernard, you told me the other day about the difference between a trainer and a teacher. What is Buddy McGirt when you heard him talking in the corner just now to Chilemba?
Well, he's definitely a teacher. Buddy McGirt, not only his own experience and being a guy that's been in the ring in multiple fights and knows experience about what to do and not to do, that's a teacher, and he's giving him the right instructions, and that's important for a fighter to have when he goes to his corner.
Buddy McGirt had some big wins as a fighter, has had more big wins as a trainer.
You know, Isaac just threw a right hand and he pivoted, and the left hook wasn't there, but just by him thinking those ways is to me is knowing that he's getting the right information.
Uppercut by Chilemba. Draws a new and ha from the crowd as he popped Lepikhin's head up. Go ahead.
Buddy told him you could rest tomorrow. Right now, you're fighting to put yourself in a position to fight for the title.
Probably the right thing to tell him after a relatively lazy round 3.
Stay low, jab to the body. Saw Chilemba trying to do that early in this round, and maybe that led to some success.
Wonder when Lepikhin's dad will get across to him that the fight is tonight, not tomorrow. And it might make more sense for him to risk a little bit more and let his hands go. Only 28 punches thrown in the 3rd round. And again, as Harold Letterman pointed out, going into the shell when Chilemba throws his shots here in round 4.
And Larry, when Chilemba throws more than one punch, he's more effective. It seems like he gets off better, cleaner, sharper.
Now a couple of right hands for Lepikhin.
Step back. Step back.
Lepikhin getting a little bit more active, landed only 5 punches in the last round, has landed 11 here. But again, Chilemba just doubling him in terms of activity.
Let him go.
Fascinating that fighters who don't have knockout power can still get respect. And Chilemba is commanding enough respect here to slow Lepikhin down. Meanwhile, you see Sergey Kovalev in the dressing room with his trainer, John David Jackson. Camera left and out of the shot now. There's the jack-o'-lantern grin that has become so much a part of Kovalev's trademark here in the United States. And meanwhile, there's the hometown star, Jean Pascal. Montreal, home to other top fighters, Lucien Boutte, whom Pascal beat in a show here on HBO last year. And of course, Adonis Stevenson, the lineal light heavyweight champion, who is markedly absent here tonight, although the fight is to some degree about him and whether he will fight the winner. Total punches through round 4 by CompuBox count. Chilemba, excuse me, Bernard, what's up here?
Here's the right uppercut, and he threw it just in time when, he got the opportunity because the way they was set up. He came right in, he threw a right uppercut, but the left hook wasn't behind it.
And now we'll go to CompuBox numbers through round 4. Total punches thrown, Chilemba 68 out of 275, and Lepikhin 36 out of 134. So again, Lepikhin generating just about half the activity of Chilemba, and that makes the fight easy to score so far. As you saw, Harold Letterman has unofficially given every round to Isaac Chilemba. Lepikhin digging a hole for himself here in his first appearance at this level of the sport.
And Max, Isaac Chilemba is using his jab more. I heard Buddy McGirt holler across the ring telling him to throw the jab, double it up, and then put the right hand behind it. He came right out and started throwing those punches, and he made something happen.
And he's keeping, as Jim, you're talking about the low activity out of Lepikhin. His hands are being kept home by that Chilemba jab. And then when he does decide to throw, he's not in great position, and Chilemba's able to make him miss combinations as he did at the end of the last round.
So it's a thought process fight, and so far, Chilemba's thought process has been far superior. He understands that in a fight where not a lot is going on, there's a premium on letting your hands go, showing activity to the judges, giving them something to score, and that's what he's doing. Good uppercut there by Chilemba. Not a lot of pop on it, but that's not what's necessary for him to win rounds in this fight.
Chilemba's the more experienced fighter against better opposition, and it's showing right now. Maybe not the more natural fighter, but his experience and against the high level of opposition, I think, is the deciding factor in the fight thus far.
Break, no punches. Punch him back in the head.
And so you ask, well, what higher level of opposition? The answer is Chilemba had 2 fights against Tony Bellew, both of them in England. One was a draw, one was a loss. Bellew is a high-quality fighter who lost to Adonis Stevenson here in Canada last December. Chilemba's also been in with Denis Grachev, the guy who had a big win over Ismail Salak before Kovalev knocked out Salak. Those are better opponents than the guys with whom Lepikhin has been in the ring. And also Thomas Oosthuizen of South Africa, back when Oosthuizen was good and before he seemingly lost interest in being good.
Even guys like Vlasov, who is a tall, undefeated fighter as Lepikhin is here tonight. Chilemba's been in there tough.
Good sweeping right hand by Chilemba, kind of rocked Lepikhin there.
Break! Back. Let him go. Back on.
Lepikhin seemed not to be one of those guys that has good movement when it comes to going side to side, straightforward right there, and sort of.
Me too. Get ready for Floyd Mayweather against Manny Pacquiao. Speaking of side-to-side movement, there are a couple of guys who can do it. You've asked for it, you waited for it, you got it. The world will be watching on pay-per-view May 2. Bernard, that might be a $90 pay-per-view.
What's going on, man? Do you want me to stop the fight? I'm asking you. Brave, what are you doing out there? He's punishing you. Do you want him to KO you? I'm gonna stop the fight. I don't want to. You're not working right. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Come on, you gotta work more. You gotta stay active.
Another look, Bernard.
Here's a lead right hand. He was successful early in the fight with it. He got it in now, but that was the lead right hand, but I don't see a left hook behind it. Once he do that, then he'll see more damage.
Power shots through the 5th round. CompuBox count, Chilemba 43 of 105. And that's 41%. Lepikhin 20 out of 76. That's 26%. Remember, that's his father, who has been his trainer ever since the beginning of his amateur career, who was asking him between rounds, do you want me to stop it? You don't look interested enough. you've got to start fighting. So I don't know how much more urgency his father could conceivably express as he tries to get across to Lepikhin that it's time to get going in the fight.
And the father, I can't imagine, is really thinking he's being punished too much to continue at this point. That has to be a motivational tactic, you would think.
But Max, Lepikhin seemed to be in one gear. And I noticed that the last round, he seemed to be in one gear. When you want to establish who you are in this business, you got to go more than one gear. You got to push it. You got to take those risks. You got to take those risks big.
Now let's listen to Buddy McGirt from Chilemba's corner. He's been pretty vocal in instructing his fighter during the rounds.
Put the right hand right there. There we go. Touch him downstairs. Don't throw the uppercut from the outside, Isaac. There we go.
Let him go. Let him go.
Walk to him. Walk to him now, baby. You got it.
Break! Watch your head.
Huh?
Great to hear Buddy offering one of the most elementary pieces of advice possible to a veteran, experienced fighter in the ring during the round. Don't throw the uppercut from the outside. Even us rank amateurs know that one.
That's how you get knocked out, but I think he saw Chilemba ducking down and maybe looking for it.
Of course,
last time, Max, I seen a person throw a right uppercut from outside was Buster Douglas and Van Holyfield.
I was just about to say, the most famous missed uppercut in the recent history of the sport. Buster Douglas tried it against Evander Holyfield and wound up looking up at the roof.
There's some cardinal sins in boxing. Don't pull straight back out of a combination. Don't throw the uppercut from the outside.
Break! Get off him! Get off him!
And for Lepikhin, don't come in and walk around as though in a trance, allowing Isaac Chilemba to beat you to the punch over and over and over. That's what's been happening here. As you see the CompuBox numbers on total punches landed, Vasily Lepikhin comes in as an undefeated fighter, 17-0 with 9 KOs, has been outclassed so far by Isaac Chilemba, who has been in against tougher opposition.
Something's
Good
changed.
straight right hand by Chilemba to momentarily stun Lepikhin.
Yeah, something's changed in this round to me. It went from Isaac Chilemba winning rounds by slim margins to that adding up to a beating in this round.
Let's see what Lepikhin's father has to say this time.
Don't get careless. You understand me? Hey, you're on this side. Don't throw the hook from this side, Isaac. Hey, jab and listen, he can't see the right hand. Keep going to your right and time it and throw.
That's it, man. I'm going to stop it now. What are you doing? Why are you just standing out there and getting hit? You got to work. You got to work. You got to throw combinations. What's wrong? He's punishing you right now. Look at your face. Don't let me stop the fight. Keep your hands up and move.
Good combination there by Chilemba just at the end of the round. Bernard Hopkins.
Yes, jab and then an overhand right. He's been successful off and on with that, and he got it in there.
Total punches in the 6th round. Chilemba 29 out of 63, Lepikhin 8 out of 29. So his father continues to threaten to stop the fight, but does not do so. Sends his son out yet again for round number 7. Let's see if Lepikhin can provide an energy burst. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 6-0. 60-54, Isaac Chilemba. You know, Jim, we talk very often about ring generalship. Look at the way Isaac Chilemba turns this guy. He puts him exactly where he wants him so he can wrap him with that right hand. I mean, he jabs, he moves, he goes to the side, and he wraps him with a right hand. They haven't been up on the ropes once the entire fight. Isaac Chilemba wants to keep it in the middle of the round where he can do damage with left jabs and right hands, and that's what he's doing. Beautiful ring generalship, nice left jabs, hard right hands, 6-0 Chilemba.
Not a promising referendum on the future career of Vasily Lepikhin, because it would be one thing if he were getting beaten up like this by a guy with real punching power. But instead, he's getting beaten up by a guy who has a deficit of punching power. And it's just clear that Chilemba having seen a higher level of competition, having been around the sport a little bit more, is way more sure of himself and way more clear on what to do in the ring than is Vasily Lepikhin.
I don't think Chilemba's a terrible puncher either. I think that if you're constantly matched with good opposition and you're not a devastating puncher, you have an underwhelming knockout percentage, but he hits it hard enough to mark up Lepikhin's face here and obviously get his respect and maybe stop him.
Now Lepikhin's decided he wants to fight off the ropes. Why, Bernard?
Well, one is because he had enough of getting countered and getting out hustled. And right now he's just getting picked apart. And he's trying to right now buy time as far as not having punishment put on him. But, you know, I think his opponent, Isaac, sees through that. And he's going to keep that in his hands, go, as you see.
I think he feels maybe that the left eye closing, it doesn't allow Chilemba to step around him maybe if his back is to the ropes, or maybe it's a sign that he just doesn't know what else to do.
It looks like a terrible idea so far. I mean, it's creating a target practice situation for Chilemba because Lepikhin is not throwing back when Chilemba steps up and fires combinations against him on the ropes. The crowd begins to boo.
Lepikhin is not a one-punch knockout artist either, so does he think Chilemba is going to punch himself out? It certainly doesn't look that way. This looks like acquiescence to me.
Well, something in Lepikhin's mind that's telling him, you know, to do these things, to make, you know, Isaac come in and try to, whether he's doing, because he's not even punching when Isaac come in. He's just waiting and getting hit, and the referee is paying attention to it.
Might be waiting for his father to throw in the towel.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? Do you want me to stop the fight? Give him some eyes.
Какой раунд?
What round is it now?
Совсем нету сил.
Are you out of breath? Are you out of gas at all? What's wrong with you? I don't recognize you. Okay, you gotta work more now. You took a round off, that's fine. But now you gotta put in work.
Ну он-то не полезет. Он уже выигрывает бой. Нахуй оно ему надо.
He's not gonna risk it. So you gotta go find him.
Он же не пойдет.
Let's go.
Well, he really did take a round off. 4 punches landed out of 14 thrown. But of course, he wasn't exactly on in the preceding rounds. It's just been like a freight train rolling downhill over Vasily Lepikhin. Chilemba in that round, 14 out of 62. By no means is it a brilliant offensive display by Chilemba, but it's more than enough for him to dominate the fight so far against Vasily Lepikhin. And Lepikhin has never had a knockout beyond the 6th round in his professional career. So if that's what he's thinking, then that would appear to be something of a fantasy at this point. He's given away some rounds, been outworked in others. Harold Letterman has it a shutout so far for Chilemba.
Bernard, do you think there's value in going the distance for Lepikhin if it continues this way?
No, I don't. Because, you know, it's really target practice right now. And, you know, after a while, you get to the point where you might start thinking that you got the fight and, you know, you don't need to do too much. So I think the quicker he can end it, the better it be. He sends a statement, he makes a statement, and he move on to the next challenge.
I also think there's a law of diminishing returns in this constant dialogue from his father about, I'm going to stop the fight. You've told him 4 straight rounds that you're going to stop the fight, and he continues to get the bejesus kicked out of him by the opponent, and you haven't done so. What's the point? I mean, you're only allowing your son to get further discouraged by what's going on in the ring.
And he's asking him, what do you want me to do here? Well, he told Lepikhin's behavior in the 7th round, said, I want you to stop the fight. You don't make the fighter in the corner quit in front of everybody on the camera.
Well, most fighters, Max, and you know, they will not do that. You have to either help them, you know, make that decision, and, you know, or he has to make that decision himself. But fighters, you know, will not do that.
We've seen the father-son equation, of course, dozens of different times in the sport. But when the son is fighting for the father, one of them has to be the adult in the corner. And now it feels as though the responsibility falls more greatly on Vasily Lepikhin's father to go ahead and be the adult, and instead of just threatening to stop it, because that's the lesson his son needs to have at this point.
Yeah, it seemed that his father threatened to stop it a little, maybe a round early. It was a little bit curious, but he saw something there apparently, and now doesn't seem willing to pull the trigger on stopping a fight that is, I don't see how his son wins it at this point.
Well, it's a 10-round fight. We're coming toward the end of round 8. The last 2 rounds feel utterly pointless at this point, or at least perfunctory. Maybe some good work for Isaac Chilemba. Who knows? Maybe he scores an attrition knockout. But there's certainly nothing in it for Vasily Lepikhin at this point.
Absolutely not. And Isaac, if he let his hands go, the referee is paying attention. It can end. It can end this next round. It can end the 9th round.
Vasily Lepikhin has looked terrible. His father's reluctant to stop it. Tuesday, look for the next installment of my show, The Fight Game. Join me along with Max Kellerman and Michelle Beadle as we look back at tonight's light heavyweight title fight and ahead to the big May 2 matchup between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. The Fight Game, Tuesday night, 11 Eastern and Pacific.
You gotta keep your hands up. Keep your hands up, move, and throw combinations. All right, 2 rounds to go. Let's go, man, just 2 rounds.
Seated at ringside, the great Ukrainian featherweight Vasily Lomachenko, regarded by some as the greatest amateur fighter of all time. He's trained by his father, but that has been a very successful partnership so far, and he is expected to be on the May 2 undercard for Mayweather-Pacquiao. Last 3 rounds, Chilemba outlanded Lepikhin by copy box count 64-20. This is purely academic at this point. And more it becomes clear that Andrei Lepikhin's threat to his son about stopping the fight was an empty threat. He's going to allow him to go ahead and get punished through the whole 10 rounds.
It's not good for anyone, including Chilemba, who's showing an inability here to stop an opponent who's stopped fighting.
And it always seems, Max, that he finds his way back to that same corner and just got hit with a 1-2 right down the pipe with the right hand, and left jab and right hand.
Right in front of his father, you mean?
Right in front of his father.
Blood flowing from both nostrils now as Chilemba tees off at Lepikhin in Lepikhin's corner.
That looked like Chilemba's attempt to give the excuse to the referee to stop the fight.
A few more punches like that, the referee is watching. I believe this fight will be stopped this round.
Michael Griffin watching carefully from behind. I described him at the outset of the fight as a very good referee.
Stop.
And at some point, he can probably help to underline that by stopping this fight. But maybe not. Maybe we're going to go the full 10 rounds.
Lepikhin came with a 3-punch combination off the ropes right when Chilemba looked like maybe he was trying to take him out with that flurry.
Good jab to the body by Chilemba. Try to bring Lepikhin's hands down just a little bit before he threw the roundhouse right over the top. Another right hand lands for Chilemba. Combination for Chilemba. Lepikhin looking and cocking but not firing.
I think Chilemba lets him off the hook when he gets him on the ropes, and he don't let his hands go, because right now he's winning big. He let his hands go. I think the referee will help Mbunga out of this fight, because he's just getting beat. He's not going to seem like do a 1 punch to change it around. He's just taking punishment right now.
Good left hook by Lepikhin. One of his best punches in the whole fight. Chilemba, along with his other assets, has a pretty good chin, as he showed you by taking that shot. 10 seconds to go in this round.
Дотянешь?
Are you gonna make it? Are you gonna make it for another round?
Нет. Ты теперь понял, что меня надо слушать?
You gotta listen to me.
Вась, сколько раз говорить, а, блядь?
How many times have I told you?
Ваши желания. Okay.
I told you to relax and just be yourself.
Расслабься, расслабься.
And you're just standing there, you're just being stiff. You're not moving, you're not punching. What are you doing? Don't look for that one punch. Throw combinations.
Он тебе не пойдет, он пробивает.
Try to go for it. It's the last round.
Вот эти делай отсюда, поднимай.
And Isaac throws the left. He misses, but the right hand comes right behind that. And that's now two punch combination, but the right hand is still finding his mark.
Touch gloves, Isaac. Isaac, come and touch gloves. Touch gloves, fellas.
So after threatening to stop the fight several times because of his son's inactivity, Andrei Lepikhin allows his son to come to the 10th and final round. He's been thoroughly dominated by Isaac Chilemba all the way through. Statistics for the fight are going to make Chilemba look like a destroyer of some sort. Lepikhin seems to be trying to show the kind of body movement and relaxation which he thought would be a part of his game in the fight, but it hasn't been by and large.
His father asked for that in the corner, which to me is also curious when you're the trainer or a cornerman of a fighter who clearly needs to do something big to win the fight. To tell him to relax and just be yourself when he's not a knockout puncher, I suppose his father does think there's value in simply going the distance.
Apparently so. Apparently his father would rather that he lose 10 one-sided rounds than to lose 5 or 6 of them and check out.
Quiet. Over there. Over there.
Every education process is different. Every fighter-trainer relationship is different. We don't know the internal language of this one, but it's been curious to watch what's going on.
But you expect it at this moment, you say go out and just leave everything out there to try to win and try to change things around, even though you got less than a couple of minutes. But you let everything out on the line at this stage because what you have to lose.
What do you have to lose? And that's not the advice he got in the corner.
Well, maybe within their internal language and the way they communicate with each other, that is sort of the message that he got. It just didn't sound that way to us.
Meantime, Chilemba has done well for himself here, pitched a shutout against an undefeated fighter. Here on HBO, so it's a bigger audience than he might otherwise be fighting in front of. But he looks like an opponent who's not a gimme for anyone, and yet he hasn't stepped on the gas to get his guy out of there when it looked like he might have a couple rounds ago. He's content with continuing to do what got him the success, which is box very smartly, but something less than sensationally.
And you're kind enough to say that he looks like an opponent who wouldn't be a gimme for anyone. But I'm thinking, okay, if this guy got a chance to fight, for instance, Sergey Kovalev, how would he keep Kovalev off of him?
Right, well, obviously, Kovalev would be an enormous favorite, but Chilemba is a credible opponent for anyone, maybe is a better way to say it.
Chopping right hand by Chilemba lands on the increasingly swollen left eye of Vasily Lepikhin. 15 seconds to go in what has been a one-sided, easy to suss out fight from the very beginning. A wipeout for Isaac Chilemba. And the crowd boos Lepikhin for what they judge to have been a less than spirited effort. And even Chilemba seems reluctant to mount some big celebration because he knows that this was given to him in a certain way. Yeah. Harold, who are the official judges as we look at your one-sided total wipeout scorecard?
Okay, Jim. Nicholas Esdog from Canada, local guy. No title fights. He had Mike Perez and Carlos take him a draw. I thought the fight was a draw, so I expect he's going to have a good score. Jean Gaultier from Canada, one title fight. He had it a draw, the same fight, so I think he'll do a good job. And last is the veteran Jack Woodburn. We've seen him on HBO numerous times. 25 world title fights. He had Jean-Pascal over Lucien Boutet, which was the right score, so I'm hoping Jack will give us a correct score.
And I guess a great score would be 100-90.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be a wonderful score.
Well, I'd be shocked if any of these scores were anything other than 100-90. And once again, let's point out that Chilemba, until about 4 or 5 weeks ago, thought that he was going to be fighting against Artur Beterbiev. Beterbiev is a very celebrated prospect who was a superstar on the Russian national amateur team and had 2 victories as an amateur over Sergey Kovalev. That's somebody we really wanted to see. But Beterbiev had spent a good deal of time sparring with Chilemba, not too far in the distant past, and apparently felt that he wouldn't be able to build himself to the right emotional peak to fight against a guy who's been his friend and sparring partner in the recent past, and therefore decided that he did not want, or his management decided, that he did not want to fight Isaac Chilemba. Therefore, Chilemba wound up fighting Lepikhin, who barely showed up. And now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official scores.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, we go to the scorecards. Nicholas says no, and Jean Gaultier both score it 99-91. Jack Woodburn has it 100-90. All 3 to the winner by unanimous decision. Now the NABO light heavyweight champion, the fighting pride of Malawi, Isaac Golden Boy Chilemba.
Nearly 400 more punches than Lepikhin is given credit for, and landing at a slightly higher connect percentage. Punch zone for the fight, and you can see the punches which landed on Chilemba, doggone few of them, 52 upstairs and 23 downstairs, whereas Lepikhin took 158 shots to the head, not from a big puncher, but nevertheless enough to show that he was not really in the fight. 34 body punches as well by Chilemba, who basically, at least in the last 5 rounds of the fight, seemed ready to land anytime he wanted to. And now let's take a look at some upcoming sports programs here on HBO.
March 17, it's the next edition of my show, The Fight Game. Join me along with Max Kellerman and Michelle Beadle as we discuss storylines, newsmakers, and issues that are top of mind in boxing. March 24, Real Sports takes a look at the state of the NCAA and how it treats, or some say mistreats, its student athletes.
April 18, an explosive matchup as hard-charging knockout artist Lucas Matisse makes his ring return. Matisse will face off with fellow action hero and former 140-pound titleist Ruslan Provodnikov.
Huge left hook. Provodnikov hammering Alvarado against the ropes.
Provodnikov broke Alvarado.
That projects as a can't-miss action fight. Also that night, Omaha native and lightweight champion Terrence Crawford. Crawford aims to continue his meteoric rise up the pound-for-pound rankings against once-beaten Puerto Rican Tomas Dulorme. 1 week later, after an absence of 7 years, the heavyweight champion returns to the United States. Left hook lands for Klitschko, and down goes Pulev. Vladimir Klitschko returns to the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, and defends the heavyweight championship against undefeated Philadelphia native Bryant Bye-Bye Jennings.
Also that night, Brooklyn native Saddam World Kid Ali is back in action against Francisco Santana. May 5, it's the premiere of 24/7 Alvarez Kirkland. We step into the training camp of Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez as he prepares for a tough test against knockout artist James Kirkland. And on May 9, it's the live fight from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas.
Down goes Belvedere on a rocket left hook.
Alvarez versus Kirkland matches two dangerous offensive fighters who square off in a bout that should produce fireworks.
Kirkland is in the zone right now. He can smell blood.
He's giving Tapia a frightful beating.
Don't miss a moment of the action. For more information on the schedule and the fighters, go to HBO.com and InsideHBOBoxing.com. And May 2, the extravaganza of the year, the long-awaited showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. It will come to you live on pay-per-view May 2. So one fight in the books here in Montreal. We're still waiting.